All right, my friends, welcome to the episode 150 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter, and over there is Anthony, the Dev. He is at Summerspeak on Twitter. 150 episodes. That's a milestone, man.
That is a milestone. Is it real? Is it really 150?
It's been
doesn't seem like it should be 150.
It doesn't. And I think if you add like all the bonus episodes, we're probably a little more than that. But yeah, 150 numbered episodes. Been doing this since the end of 2015. And it's been a lot of fun just talking every week about game news, games we're playing. I'm getting a lot of insight into the dev side. You're really helping us out kind of thinking about, especially like the E3 discussion we just had, like what's it like to get ready for E3 and kind of crunch for it. Speaking of, I saw an Instagram post that your partner posted about.
You saw my forehead, probably.
I definitely saw your forehead.
Yeah.
You guys playing your the alpha?
It's not even an alpha.
Pre-alpha?
Prototype. It's just prototype.
Okay.
Latest prototype. We basically do at least one play test every day now.
Nice.
So that's just how we kind of start our day. Do a stand-up, then get into them play a game. Two of us play a game. The others watch and take notes and discuss what transpired out of that game, if there's any bugs that came out, and in general, just kind of like where we want to put our focus for the day. If we want to change our focus, because usually most things take more than a day to implement and change. But it's more of just a refresh, make sure that we're all aligned and focused on the right stuff. But it's fun to be able to play. And it does play. It doesn't crash. That's great. There are bugs that come up every once in a while. But in general, it's a pretty stable build of the core mechanics.
And the more that you play, you're probably discovering more small bugs that you can kind of squish.
Yeah, really, those edge cases that, for the most part, you'll never find yourself. It's just because this 1% chance that everything is aligned exactly the right way, and boom, bug. And you're like, okay, now try to figure that out.
Which is why when the game, like a game, goes out into the wild and there are millions of people playing it, there are more bugs discovered.
Oh, of course.
I assume that's, with 1 million people playing, in the first minute is probably more playtime than you have the entire QA time with your game.
Yeah, so. Even if you have an amazing QA department, it's still a smaller number of people than millions or even 100,000 people playing your game. They'll find things very quickly. Yeah. Like I said, that bug that only shows up 0.5% of the time, whenever you start getting that large of an audience, someone's going to experience it.
Correct. So. Well, it was fun to see a bit more of your game.
Yeah, and all its blocky glory.
Yes, absolutely.
With definitely Paragon assets as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I noticed that. But yeah, it looks very prototypish, but it looked solid. Great. I just kept thinking it looked very clean for being a prototype.
It needs to be clean. That is something that's very important. One of the big things that we're currently iterating on is a lot of readability on it.
Yeah.
Even being basic, being like, but if we could show this to someone who's not us, can they understand what's going on? Can we make it clear all things that are happening? And ideally, if it's clear enough, you could also see where you made correct decisions and poor decisions while playing.
That's something that strikes me when I think about a game like Overwatch, which is obviously designed to hell. But when I think about Overwatch League, the readability of the matches for me, and I'm someone who plays Overwatch, is difficult. Just because it's so fast.
Yes.
And the strategies are so foreign to me that it's hard for me to kind of keep track of what's happening. And, obviously also the camera angles and things. Yeah. I think as opposed to yours, you could kind of watch a whole match or whatever, like the isometric view or whatever it is. You can kind of see everything all at once.
It's also like turn-based tactics.
Right.
Like it's slower paced game, so it's easier to grasp that way. But that's just a problem. And when you talk about Overwatch, I remember trying to, when I was watching League of Legends back in the day and playing it and learning it and then watching professional games, I couldn't understand it probably for a few weeks.
Right.
Before I could start and even then it took me a while to wrap my head around being able to parse all the information being thrown at me so I could pattern recognize who was doing cool things. Mostly I was just reacting to the crowd. Like, people start cheering, I'll start cheering and clapping too. Why not? Like,
it's also partially how dense the gameplay is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that yours has density to it, but you're talking about cleanliness in terms of like reading what's on the screen, clearly.
Yeah, reading what's on the screen. I mean, that's the stuff where you talk about like floating numbers colorized certain ways so you know what those mean, and being very clear on the readability on like, okay, when I do this thing, the markers on the ground are correct. They show the right size and they are clear about what that means, if it's good or bad for you, or where you're going to move to, where you're not, what happens when things collide, stuff like that. Like, you really need to, and especially if you can focus on that stuff during prototype, you can start, if you as a team, like we've found, as we start putting a lot more readability in, our feedback and the depth of our gameplay design increases, because we're not, this other stuff doesn't block up our thought process of like, I don't know what's going on. Like, once you can get past that, you can start digging into design deeper and finding I would say, the more core problems to the systems, as opposed to it's obfuscated behind crappy UI.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like building or creating a sculpture where you have this big chunk of marble and you're kind of chipping away, and you kind of slowly see the form beneath it, and you kind of like chip away more of the chuff, and it gets clearer and clearer.
Yes.
I assume as you take more and more passes, like more of the kind of the chunk of the marble falls off and you see more of the game beneath.
Yeah. The great thing about games, though, is you can change stuff later. If you chip off a piece of marble and you're like, crap, I needed that piece.
I needed the arm. Yeah, that's right.
Game development, similar to probably writing and movies. Painting is going to be a little bit harder too. But in those things, you can edit yourself in the end and go, this is bad. Like, let's reverse a couple weeks and start and go a different direction. It's okay. We can do that.
Well, and that is nice with being able to save multiple different builds, I assume, of the code to go back a couple weeks and say, let's go back to that path.
We use source control. We branch for big things so that we're looking at different branches, and we can be like, do the right now we're going on a process of about every 2 weeks. Just have a quick meeting, go like, how do we feel about our current branch that we're working on? Do we want to merge that into the main branch? Are we confident or not? So that we can kind of always have something that's stable, showable in main that we're confident with, and then every 2 weeks just refresh that. Sometimes it is, no, we don't want to merge this in. Like, we're not confident, we're not ready to do it. And that's fine, and we continue on.
That makes sense. That's, the kind of the thing that I'm talking about having that insight into the process of making the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Saying it in a clear way that makes sense to me. If it makes sense to me, then it makes sense to everybody.
We can hope.
Yes. Well, this is episode 150, a big milestone, and we have a couple of keys to give away. I do have a key on Steam. Where did it go? For the Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. And that key I will give you if you reply to me on Twitter. Send me a tweet at Prof Plays Games. The first person to tweet at me and say the phrase, "Give me Titan Quest," I will send you the key in a DM. Also, I have a key for Cook Serve Delicious 2, which is, where did I go? There it is. Cook Serve Delicious 2. And I'll just give that away right now. N42Y3 YGQ50 C6CWN. So that's Cook Serve Delicious 2. And then if you want Titan Quest Anniversary Edition for Steam, hit me up on Twitter at Prof Plays Games. Say, "Give me Titan Quest," and I will send you the key. First person who tweets at me gets it. And then this episode, we're just going to kind of reminisce over the last 150 episodes and thinking about our gaming over the past 150 episodes and what stands out to us, what news stands out to us. Basically, free for all. Anything that comes up that sounds like something that sticks out to you from that period of time. Just
let's be honest. And the first thing that comes to mind when you brought this up in the last, since what, 2014, 2015?
2015.
Was December when I started. I mean, it's the Switch.
Yeah.
That thing is the number one thing probably in the past 3 years.
There's so much time to be spent talking about like the future console and then NX, and then finally when the Switch was revealed, there was a long time where we talked about it.
was real, and then it's just successful. And both having one now and realizing, going like, yeah, Nintendo chose correctly here. They really did. They read the market correctly this time.
Well, it's so interesting in terms of third-party support. It's coming in a way that I didn't really expect, in that we're getting, or will be getting, a lot of, obviously indie, but also like the third-party ports of older games. And people are rebuying them because the novelty of playing them, like playing Dark Souls Remastered portably whenever that finally comes out, or Doom portably, or Wolfenstein 2 portably, is enough to get people to double dip. And I think that's enticing to publishers, even if putting their stuff day and date isn't.
Yeah, I mean, and it's cool to see that they're actually like, fine, we're doing this. And it seems like more of them are coming too, now that they've seen some success with it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's hard to say if that success comes because the Switch was sold a bunch, but a bunch of these had committed earlier, saying, we will do this for you, Nintendo. But it's the power of that. The portability thing is huge. Like, it is. And it makes people rebuy things. Like, there are games that I will rebuy on Switch because I just want to take them around. Stardew Valley being a key one. Like, that was like day one purchase for me with Breath of the Wild on a Switch. It's like, I want Breath of the Wild and I want Stardew. Okay, cool.
Well, and the thing that it's done for me is, I don't play my computer that much, but the Steam sales are just hard to resist. So Hollow Knight, for example, has been on sale either through GOG or Steam at like $9 since, I don't know, maybe last December or whatever. And I just kept resisting, saying, no, I'm going to buy it on Switch. And I bought it on Switch for full price, $15. So I spent a little more than I would have because of the portability. I know it's not that much, but
it still shocks me that game's $15.
It should not be $15. They need to
just say that time all the time. I'm just like, no, that can't be right. That has to be like sale price. It should be like $30.
It's huge, and that DLC they add to it keeps making it bigger. And the original Kickstarter for that game earned like $90,000 or something just pitiful. So they must have set that price when they had much lower expectations, I assume, because that easily could have been $20-$25. It's a steal at 15. So, there are other games on Switch that I waited to get portably that I could have bought on Steam for a little bit less or a lot bit less. And it's just the portability, man. I have played that game, I played the Switch undocked like 98% of the time. Yeah. I rarely ever dock it. You usually dock it just to show it off.
Yeah, I'm finding that I usually just show it off, or I'm docked whenever, like, it's kind of like the family playing. So, if we're doing family Mario Kart, it's docked in the TV.
Exactly. When I play Mario Kart with my wife, it's docked. Otherwise, I don't play much on the screen.
Yeah, but when we talk about big thing, I think that's probably one of the biggest ones. Like, it's just been, of course, impactful on our show talking about it, but just impactful to the industry.
Right. Do you think it's going to influence Sony or Microsoft to have... Okay.
I mean, I don't think they're going to make portable consoles. Will they have... I mean, I'd have to imagine somewhere in Sony they were thinking, they're like, okay, the Switch is successful. Do we double down on this Vita thing? Like, do like a cheap version that is specifically for, like, remote play, just to compete in that way.
Right.
They don't seem to care, and they don't seem to be pushing it, so I think they're just moving on. But I guess the biggest thing is, in some ways, the Switch does compete with Microsoft and Sony, but it doesn't really.
It is a weird thing, because you're right, it's just a different... It's not a different market, but there's a different focus maybe. But I'm going to buy my indie games on the Switch, not on Microsoft and not on Sony.
Yeah, but I also don't know how much... Like, I feel like Sony has already been, like, screw into games. Like,
they sure have.
They've moved off. And Microsoft has always had I'm not going to say bad, because sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's decent. But I never say great with indies. Mm-hmm. They support them to a point. They support certain ones to a point. But they're not generally good for, like, everyone. Like Ori, of course they're supporting Ori. Like,
well, yeah, because
really hard.
Like a second party relationship almost.
Exactly. They support the ones they get into second parties with. It's hard to see them do big pushes for third parties all the time.
And you're specifically thinking of the Xbox One. Was it better as during the 360 generation with
it was better
like
when they launched
whatever?
Xbox Live. It
Okay.
got worse as it went on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot like Sony. Like,
Yeah.
why do they need them anymore? So that kind of their love of them kind of petered out as the timeline went on. As the 360 was super successful, but those first few Summer of Arcades, they were really good. Like,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they pushed Xbox Live stuff. They wanted indie games for Xbox Live.
Right. It was like games like Braid and Battle Crashers, or not Battle Crashers, fucking Castle Crashers.
Castle Crashers. That we put a bunch of PodCap stuff on there. Peggle, PVZ. So it was a big time. Like, and those did very well. And then they got successful, and well, those games don't really make them nearly as much money as the other AAAs and like big first party titles. So they started pushing those more. And
that's why I wonder if what's happening with Sony now. Like, they're like, we don't really need the indies because they don't really see much return on investment, or
kind of. I mean, it's there, but
not as much as their big party,
exactly,
big first party stuff, I guess.
Yeah,
which they've been hitting out of the park. So it's kind of, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, but that leaves it open for Nintendo to be like, come here, like, look it, everyone will buy your thing. So
right,
we talked about last week though. Nintendo does have the issue of their store just sucks.
Oh my god, there's so much garbage on it. Like,
it's just that they're gonna hit like everyone else. They're gonna have to figure this out, and hopefully they figure out a good curation policy and a way to surface the good things, and get the shovelware and the crappy ports just to fall off. But we'll see. Haven't seen a huge amount of updates to that store since they've launched. A little
just
bit
the
here and
featured.
there.
There's the featured, and then they changed the most downloaded games to like be 30 instead of 10, and then added download only and then retail. So there've been some changes around the edges, but if you go into like the new games, it's just like
it's a mess.
50 just shovelware games and like one good game, and good is subjective, of course, but boy oh boy.
Yeah, no, you want quality to rise. That's the important part.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Switch.
The Switch has been big.
I think dovetailing on that is Breath of the Wild, obviously. Yeah. We spent a lot of time talking about Breath of the Wild, all the awards it won, just how game-changing that was for open world games. I don't think I have enough literacy with Zelda games to say game-changing for Zelda games, but I thought that it was in a different direction for that series.
I would say it's not completely game-changing for Zelda. It just goes back to emphasizing the exploration part of it. Where they had become a lot less of that in the last few iterations. Like, it was much more, there's small elements of exploration, but then it's very focused on, okay, dungeon now. I would say small scale exploration, where Breath of the Wild is just large scale exploration.
Well, the dungeon thing is kind of the other big change, where you didn't really have those big dungeons. You had the divine beasts, which were not the same. Like
a quarter of a dungeon? Third of a dungeon?
Right. And, aside from the desert one, I thought the other ones were pretty straightforward. They were like playing through Ocarina of Time, and some of those dungeons, I'm just like, wait, where do I go? What do I do? Seems to be a lot of moving parts to some of those dungeons.
Yeah, that was the same in Wind Waker, too. Like, some of those are just huge and complicated, and there's a lot of specific things you have to find and do. And they definitely, basically, I feel like they went back really to the roots of Zelda, the original NES Zelda, and in some ways Link to the Past. Just were like, you know what? We're going to go back to that core gameplay systems and exploration of those games and bring that forward and reinvent everything we need to reinvent along the way to make that work.
Sure, it worked out for them.
It did.
And I think the art style, similarly to Wind Waker, is just something that obviously it's beautiful, but it's going to stand the test of time. Yes. So I'm hoping against hope that they have something in the works sooner rather than later for a sequel to that game.
I hope so. I really don't want to see it just kind of end at this point and be like, okay, there'll be another Zelda in 5 years.
Right.
No, give me at least a little bit more. But right now, I have a hard time saying, I would say it's weird that Nintendo, not weird, but Nintendo's been pretty tight-lipped about what's coming. Like, they know, they're very specific about some things, and then other things are like, no, we're not going to talk about that, and then like nothing leaks.
Well, and they had that quote a couple of weeks ago with the investors that said something like, oh, we haven't shown all the games that are coming out this year. And it's like, well, is there a direct coming? Because we're running out of time in this year. If there's some big thing coming, which I suspect there's no big thing coming. Yeah. That should have been at E3, but, Nintendo's weird, so who knows? Yeah.
Maybe they just do want to surprise drop stuff later.
Yeah.
Or it's stuff that they are like, we're unsure if we'll be able to get it out this year. There's plenty of reasons why they might be like, let's just hold back, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, no one will know the better. So
right, that's correct. I think just to round out the Switch's discussion during our 150 episodes is probably Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
which was a return to form for 3D Mario, in my view.
Yes.
I'm not sure if the game lingered with me as long as like Breath of the Wild did. It was awesome when I played it, and when I put it down, I was like, yep, that was good.
Yeah, but it lingered with me about as much as any other Mario game has for me. It's hard to say with Mario 64, because that was just oh my god, this is amazing. Like, how I've never seen anything like this. Right. So that lingers. But when I think of like the Galaxy games, I beat them, and then I moved on. I was not one to get all the stars. And I'm not one to get all the moons. So yeah, but I do know, I do have one friend who has gotten every moon.
Oh my god, how long did that take?
Months.
Yeah,
if not like just keeps going. But he loves doing that. Like that. Yep. That is his thing. He loves solving all those little puzzles to get the moons. So I think the game lingered just fine for him.
Yeah. Well,
but nice. I beat it and was super happy when I beat it, though. So, it had a great ending.
Oh my god, such a good ending where you capture Bowser and bust out, and then Peach is like, "You guys are bozos. I'm out of here."
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna take Tiara. Yeah, Tiara.
Tiara. Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna go travel ourselves. Bye.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. And the way that the structure of that game was, where you had so much post-game content for the people who really wanted to challenge, which is, Mario games have been doing that for a while now. But it's fun to have that there to go back. I keep nipping in every once in a while and grabbing a couple moons, and it's perfect for the Switch, bite-size adventures you can have and then put it away.
Yeah, and I think the best part of where they started that post-game content was dropping you back in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh my god, that was so good.
That was the perfect spot to be like,
awesome.
Guess what? Remember that N64 game? Well, here you go. Go find those things.
Took a couple pictures and sent them to my cousin. He was pretty excited because he played the shit out of 64 and hasn't really played much since then. So he was just reminiscing through pictures, basically.
Yeah, that was a great design decision on their part.
Yeah, super awesome. So yeah, that's the Switch. I think another big storyline from these 150 episodes really is the Sony market dominance.
Yeah.
Just never gave it up.
They put out a machine that people wanted at a price that people were willing to pay.
That's right. It was just streamlined. It was just games. I remember, I think it was 2014 when I told you I was getting back into games and wanted to pick up a console, and I was leaning toward Xbox actually, and I asked you, and you're like, no, get a PlayStation. It's about the games. And that was the best thing, best advice, because it's been just an unrelenting torrent of amazing, I
think I was pretty angry at Xbox in 2014 too.
Oh, after the whole reveal?
No, well, the reveal was whatever. But I wasn't doing development for it, but team in PopCap was doing Peggle 2 for it. For launch, and it was a miserable piece of crap.
Oh no.
The dev kit coming out, that team went through hell, not because it was the team's problem, it was a lot of just last minute crap from Microsoft. Sorry, we've messed up the entire store. You need to rebuild. We've added these new stuff into the store. You got to rebuild the entire game and resubmit it.
Oh no.
They came in so hot. They were that there was a lot of anger.
Yeah.
With me on just because they had such a good dev experience on the 360. There's a reason why they won so much on the 360 on like dev support is because they just had a platform that was easy to make games for.
Right.
It was easy to submit. Yeah, they completely, that didn't exist for the Xbox One. It was just a miserable experience.
Dang.
And there's a lot of people and Sony made a very good experience. It was very easy to develop for the PS4. So
it's amazing to me that a team has, or a console manufacturer, whatever, has set a system up that's great, and then the next generation they just completely fuck it over.
Yeah, that just felt like for me, I don't know the internals there. Like there was big business decisions that were made for the Xbox team from on high that seemed to have set it on a course that wasn't ideal for the market. And then I just felt like it was like as someone sitting there as a dev, seeing people work with these dev kits and messing with it, it just didn't seem like it was ready. Like they were just rushing to get it out.
Well, their marketing surely wasn't ready.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like it was. They were prepared.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say, but it was.
It makes sense.
It was not a fun thing. So yeah, when you asked me back then which one you should get, it's also biased on the fact that I was just angry.
But it was so right with your reasoning. You weren't like, Microsoft has fucked us over with this game. It was like, you get this because that's where the games are going to be.
And one of the reasons why I felt like the games were going to be on PS4, beyond the fact that Sony just has good first-party studios, was because it was miserable. Devs were finding it much harder to get their games on Xbox One.
So you knew they weren't going to come there. Yeah.
They will, but the easier you make the life of a dev to get your game there, that's where they're going to put it first, or going to have the easiest time putting it, and you'll see the benefits. So,
well, that's what I hear devs saying about the Switch right now, just compared to previous Nintendo consoles and maybe even compared to other platforms. It's easy to it's streamlined to get it on there, which is they've lowered the barrier of entry.
Yeah, the dev kits, the SDKs are much easier. The PS3 was a hard one because it was custom CPUs, the cell processors. So there was a lot. It wasn't. That was where it was super hard to make games for it. You couldn't just say, I'm going to port a Windows game for this. You had to do a lot of engineering work to get your Windows x86 processor game to run on a PS3 cell processor. So that's why they didn't have a lot of great third-party and indie support in the PS3 days.
But even, I didn't have PS3, but I assume, based upon some of the remasters coming out for PS4, that they still had some pretty good first-party support.
Of course, it's Sony.
Yeah.
Like, they invested in first-party studios for a long time, so you don't have to worry. You don't ever have to worry about them having good first-party. Yeah,
thank God. I mean, it's just like some of the games of the generation are on this system. I think I'm playing one right now, this God of War game. What a start. Speaking of games, though, I have another key for you. It's for Steam, and it's going to be a surprise. So enjoy this one. It's 9FKBE 7WZKV WMKAR. So enjoy that one. Plug it into Steam and see what happens. All right. So other storylines from the past 150 episodes that kind of ring in your head.
Only because I picked it up and played a few hours tonight. Everything around No Man's Sky.
Oh shit, yeah, totally. I need to update that tonight, by the way. Thanks for the reminder.
It's still kind of the same game, I would say. But wow, does it have a lot more to it. And it drops you into third person.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that looks like.
Fine, I was playing in third person. Like, I don't know, you kind of feel more connected to your character that way. Targeting's a little strange.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, it's like over the shoulder third person, so it's a little bit odd in some ways. But yeah, that game has just, I mean, that's been 2 years now since it came out?
Yeah, it's 2016.
Yeah, it was 2 years. They just celebrated their 2-year anniversary by doing the next update. So, you go from being super hyped for this game to being like, oh, it's really shallow.
Yeah.
You got great systems, but man, is it shallow. To them just working for 2 years. And we're not talking small updates, like pretty significant updates to this game. And then to launch this one this past week that is, hey, look, here's multiplayer. Here's a bunch of other deeper building mechanics and resourcing, and who knows what else is hiding in there.
There's like new AI stuff for some of the creatures and new creation algorithms, I guess, for the creatures as well.
Yeah, and then like the
base
worlds,
building and stuff.
Yeah, there's like submerged caves and all sorts of they changed terrain, they changed the type of resources that are in the game, how things interact, kind of the like survival aspect to it is totally different. There's a ton of quality of life changes on like quick accessing to recharge things, to mine things, to I don't even know. I was kind of just blown away by how much stuff there is there now. Clearly they needed 2 more years. That's what I'm saying. They needed 2 more years to build this game.
Yeah, kind of like presages my question I was going to ask you, which is, do you think Sony was just like, you guys got to get this out the door now?
I think so. I think that was what it was just coming down to. And this is definitely now playing this. This game should have been an early access game. Because that's what it feels like the last 2 years have been. Is great. And this is the type of game that thrives in early access because people start using it and the devs can get an idea of what people really want to be doing in the game and focus on that stuff and maybe reevaluate the systems and what they want to make the game and tailor it more to what the players want. So I don't know. And I mean, Sony doesn't do early access or anything like that. So I really do think it was just like, nope, we got to get it out now. And who knows about money as well. Like Hello Games really, like it's a small team that made it, but they could have hit a point where like, we have to start making money on this. Like financially, we can't wait. So hard to say.
It's a game that I picked up probably a year after it launched on a sale in the summer of 2017, kind of maybe a month or 2 after my daughter was born. And I have very vivid memories now that I'm seeing the next update, information about it and watch people's Let's Plays or whatever. In the space of probably 2 weeks, it's the only game that I played. And I probably put like 25 hours into the game. And just a sense of loneliness and abandonment and just going from moon to the planet and just flying among the stars. It was an experience that I thought I wasn't going to like. I remember when you bought it, I was asking you, and this is a game that you think I would like, and you said no because it's solitary. You're just kind of alone, and typically that's true. But for some reason, it was like being able to explore. It had a profound effect on me that was like meditative. At a time where I really, really needed it. And the best part was when you told me, hey, dumbass, put in some headphones and listen to the music. And that definitely...
the music is still so good. Like, playing it tonight, I'm like, oh, right, the soundtrack was incredible.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it just matches what you're doing, the tone, the feel of this exploration. We'll see. I'm not playing it multiplayer right now. But I do know because I played it in an update last summer as well.
Right,
they've introduced a number of, like, there's the base building, but they introduced, like, big trading fleets. Like, the galaxy just feels more alive as you play the game. Like, you start finding other alien races and factions, and they're doing things, so... Yeah,
I heard that the NPCs at the different bases or whatever kind of interact.
Yes. So I feel like it's because... like, I haven't got there yet, but I've seen some videos of it. Like, there definitely seems to be more to that aspect of the game. Like, you will find other alien species to talk to, and they'll give you quests and things like that. And then, of course, if you're playing a multiplayer now, you can just go and find people in a galaxy.
That's crazy.
And, interact and help each other out and do stuff, and... which is insane to think about. There's like portals in the game now. Like,
I saw that.
Like, I don't even know. There's so much to discover in this game now that I definitely want to play more of it. Like, just playing a few hours tonight made me be like, oh, I really should just play more. My kids love it. Absolutely love this game.
Yeah, it's a fun game to watch because watching it is it kind of recreates the experience of playing it.
Yeah, it's just exploration, discovery. Like, there's always something new to see, and especially my son is just like, he's all about that. Like, that's all he wants to do in games is to explore the world. He could care less about combat. He could care less about anything else. He just wants to see the world and find things. So we'll see. But I'm intrigued to play more. I started fresh. So
you went okay.
Yeah, I just was like, you know what? Let's just get rid of it all. Let's just start from scratch. There's so many new things I just want to learn. I don't even know where I was from my last game. So I think last year I started a new one. The save I deleted had like 12 hours on it. So I think that was from last summer.
I have
so I just
no idea
deleted
where
that.
either.
I was like, no, let's just delete that. Let's start fresh and see how it guides me now.
Right.
And it is much more guided at the beginning. So yeah, that I think that game has, in the last 2 years while we've been doing this, it's weird to see a game just kind of stick around that long.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of what Ubisoft is doing with their games that kind of launch rough and they just put their heads down and do the work and keep the game thriving. And for them, at least, they have a model where they're able to make money off it as it's going on, the cosmetics or whatever, versus No Man's Sky. It was just the game and there's nothing else to buy. Yeah, right. Sell copies of it. It's back in the top spot on Steam, I think, or number 2. It was.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the buzz is basically like this is the game it was supposed to be. And also with this next update, it launched on Xbox finally. So there's a whole new audience there.
God, that's so crazy. It's not. Yes, Ubisoft is a big publisher. They have the resources to kind of keep pushing their games through and updating and stuff. But this is rare for an indie studio to be like, yeah, we're just going to go heads down. We have the resource, we have the drive, and we're just going to do this. Yeah, it is the number one. It's the number one game on Steam right now.
Yeah, and
it's 50% off. Sure, 50% off. So $30, but whatever. Like, it's a 2-year-old game.
Right. That's pretty good. And people were definitely, it shows that this game got people's attention, and obviously the buzz about it when it finally came out dampened their enthusiasm, but they continued to kind of keep their ear open for news on the game. And if they had just quit then, they wouldn't have gotten all these sales they have now and getting on the Xbox or whatever. So I feel like they've at least financially turned it around, because I know on Steam, if you recall, there were so many refunds on that game at the beginning.
Yeah. So if they go all reviews, only 43% of the reviews were positive. If you go with recent reviews, 81% are positive in the past 30 days. Like,
almost double. That's a pretty good turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, they have totally, completely, like, turned this around. They've given people the game I think they wanted to begin with, which is effectively Minecraft in space. Like, yeah, exactly. And that's what the game is. And I guess for anyone listening to this and they're like, man, would I like that? Do you like Minecraft and do you like space? If you dislike either of those, you're not going to like this game, and it's not for you. But if you like those two things, this is it. I don't know if it gets better than this.
Tangentially, did you know there's a subreddit called No Man's High?
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that one. Because, I mean, that's also, I feel like, it's legal in California, legal in Washington, our states. Yep. So, I mean...
Do you like getting high? Do you like space?
Yeah, I mean, if you like getting high, just flying around. Yeah, this is your game. I think this will be great for you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would totally be doing that if I didn't have responsibilities.
I feel the same way. I was talking to a friend. He's like, "Oh yeah, you smoke, right?" I'm like, "I don't smoke." And no, not cigarettes. Weed. I was like, "No." He's like, "What?" Like, I have a kid. No, I have responsibility. I cannot smoke.
Yeah. You're like, not anymore. Have I? Yes. But,
but not anymore. And
no.
I always imagine the one, if I did relax one night and play a game and get high or whatever, that's the night where something goes wrong with my kid. And then I'm the high parent. Like, that's not happening. That's never, ever happened. The only
parents I know that have done that is usually when, like, the family is all gone out of town. And they're, like, at home alone. Story. And they're like, guess what? I'm doing this.
I'm playing No Man's High.
Yep. But yeah, it's different whenever you have, like, responsibilities, especially with kids. You're like, no, need to actually be in my, like, right mind most of the time.
Yeah. Even when the kid's asleep, like, my kid could wake up at any second and need me. So this ain't happening. And I'm sure that it'll be fine once she is in college and I'm alone. But give me 18 years.
There you go.
Yeah, well, when I proposed this topic, I didn't think No Man's Sky would come up, but that's absolutely one of them. Like, just crazy.
Thinking of space things, I can give out a key right now that does have deal with space, and I made it.
Yay.
It's on Steam. The code is R6W8L P8R7P NZCXB. And that is for a space game that I made.
So enjoy that. Plug it in and let us know at Summerspeak at Prof Plays Games. If you grabbed it, if you like it, let us know. We're here again celebrating our 150th episode, giving out keys, talking about milestones for the past 150 episodes. And another milestone that comes to mind is probably loot boxes. Not a good milestone, but no. I feel like the microtransactions loot boxing has kind of come to a head, and specifically now with games taking them out. Shadow of War took it out. Yep. Forza 7 took it out. Battlefront took it out. Battlefront 2, I should say. Yeah.
I think in the last, that's something, there was pushback on it. Now there's all this stuff on actual legal action against it.
Right. In terms of
in different parts
gambling,
of the world
right?
have already done it. So
right.
It's becoming much more complicated than just, hey, put loot boxes in. There's a lot to consider there. And there's definitely now been some examples of the games just do better if you don't have that in there. It's received better by the public, and you get generally more sales up front if they're not there. So...
Yeah, and in a specific case of Shadow of War, I bought that on Black Friday last year. Still haven't played it, stupidly. But the buzz about the end game was that it was basically grind to win, and it was such grind fest, basically to kind of push you toward the store to buy orcs to beat the last challenge. And since they've taken out the loot boxes, they've also changed the end game, so it's not nearly as grindy. It's more streamlined, and kind of flies in the face of the statement they put out saying, "Oh, we didn't design the end game in a way to make you go toward the store. It's just a coincidence." And then they changed the store, so they changed the end game, and it seems like those things were inextricably linked. And I think also with games like Destiny, so many game communities have taken a hit with this. Pay to win, or all these blind boxes, that the games that kind of just stuck with straight cosmetics, buy the thing if you want it. Think Fortnite, for example. You want that skin, just buy the skin. There's no box.
There's no boxes. Fortnite's actually pretty great in their season subscription type thing.
It's so awesome.
It is an incredible way. It's for the people that are going to play the game. It's great. You're I like the game. I know I'm going to be playing the game. Here's my, was it $10?
$10. Yeah,
here's my $10. Reward me more for playing the game. Thank you.
The thing they do that's smart is two things. One, when you buy the battle pass basically for the season, you automatically get 2 skins, which is worth more than the battle pass anyways. And then if you don't buy a battle pass but you're playing the season, as you complete challenges, it'll show you what you've unlocked if you had the battle pass. So if you have unlocked a ton of stuff, that would entice you to buy the battle pass, and you automatically get it all. You wouldn't have missed it. So you could just keep playing, and then at the end decide, well, do I want those things or not, and then make that purchase.
It seems very player focused.
Yeah, super, super player focused. And I've purchased 2 battle passes and have been completely satisfied. It's a free to play game. I've put 15 hours into it, and it's just in some way rewarding the devs for the work they're doing on that game, because it's a hell of a lot of fun for a free game. And I had a friend here last night, and we were talking about Fortnite because he's an educator too, and his students were obsessed. We played a little bit, and he's like, I just didn't really get it. I was like, I'll show you a little bit. So I put on Fortnite on my PS4, and I was just going to do one match and show him, and I got second place. Second place on PS4. What the hell? And just to be perfectly honest, I camped for most of the time, and I just happened to be in the place where the circle ended up being.
Nice.
And I got destroyed by a rocket launcher at the last. So I killed nobody and got second place. So it was pretty fun.
Did he understand it at this point?
Yeah, he got it. He's not really into shooters. But I think being an educator is you kind of have to understand the phenomenon. And just everywhere I go, there's someone doing a Fortnite dance.
Of course.
Oh my God, it's crazy. But I guess that's another storyline, Fortnite and Battle Royale. Starting with PUBG and kind of rolling into Fortnite just has been a story for the last year and a half, 2 years.
I don't know did we ever talk about the fact that Bluehole dropped their lawsuit?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, they totally dropped their lawsuit though.
I wonder if that
I wonder if it's Tencent was like, stop it.
Yeah.
Considering Tencent owns
both.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, they own a good chunk of Epic.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if it's 50%, but it might be like 40. But it's money. Like, and I feel like there's a point where they're just like, stop. Like,
don't make us sue ourselves, please.
Yeah. Because there was no reason given. They just dropped the lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. It just seems so pissy, and it felt like because the lawsuit, like we heard news about it like in May, but it was put in the courts in Korea in like January. So once the news got out in May or whatever, it was just slowly dropped, silently dropped. I mean, so
yeah. But that whole thing has been insane. Like
Fortnite taking over the world has been crazy.
Fortnite taking over the world. That game mode becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And because what game did it start with before?
Like Arma, I think it was an Arma.
Did one, and then I thought there was like a zombie one as well.
Oh, DayZ or something like that.
Yeah, did DayZ do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember it. Like it started out these other games like mods and stuff, and then of course PUBG came out. They're like, we're just doing this as its own thing, and then Fortnite's like, hey, we launched this game Fortnite. It's not doing that great, so let's just this battle royale thing is doing well. I think we can do that. Let's do that. I guess it worked.
Yeah, I would say so. And just, it's a really well done free to play game. It plays great. It's everywhere. It's free. Obviously, it's not too expensive to throw money at it. It's just crazy. And the other thing that's crazy to me, and I know it's happening maybe, that more games haven't thrown battle royale modes into them. I know like Paladins has done it, and Battlefield and Call of Duty has it coming up, but it hasn't been the trend chasing that I thought it would be so far, at least.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone that's the thing. I'm like, I've seen things try it, but nothing sticks.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
And it's hard to compete with how big Fortnite is on it now.
Right.
Like, that's where I'm like, Call of Duty doing it. I'm like, really? Do you think what are you gonna offer that's gonna stick compared to these other games? It's going to be hard. I mean, they're like, we have the brand, but I don't know. Like, players are fickle. Maybe they just needed to play Fortnite because they like playing Fortnite instead.
Well, yeah, and why play other games when you can just play Fortnite? Like, I want to level up my Fortnite character. So,
it becomes a hobby. It becomes a lifestyle game in a lot of ways.
Exactly. And how much room does any one gamer have for multiple lifestyle games?
You don't. You have one lifestyle game. Trust me.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree. You had WoW, or you have Destiny, or you have, Hollow Knight. That's not a lifestyle game, but it fucking feels like it. 27 hours into that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I think we've seen over the last few years. When did PUBG come out?
I thought it was 2016.
Checking now. Let's see.
All right, Fact Squad to the rescue.
Its release date was... Oh, right.
December 2017 on Xbox. Right?
But that was when it came out of early access.
Early access, yeah. When did it hit early access is the question. I thought it was 2016.
It probably was. It was in early access forever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe? Early access March 23rd of 2017.
2017? Oh, okay. For some reason I thought it was 2016. Yeah. Wow. It's just barely been over a year since that game came out.
Where is his name? Yep. This is like the announced article. They're like, hey, came out, they announced at PAX East that they were going to do early access on March 23rd. Mm-hmm. So, yep. That's, wow. So it didn't take them long. It did not take long for this to overtake everything.
Well, and the rise and fall of PUBG. Like, I remember when we were at E3 this year, like, PUBG was kind of relegated to a little mobile stand in the front, away from everything. And then being at Comic-Con this year, it was like a side event, just a bunch of different kind of booths. And then Battlegrounds, Xbox booth was kind of in the corner of one place, pretty small. So, but yeah, Battle Royale and Fortnite taking over has been a pretty big storyline. So, it's kind of hits the high points of the last 150 episodes.
I think so.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add about that particular topic?
No, I don't think so. I think that's pretty good. But I do have another key.
Nice.
This is from Steam, and this is Bejeweled meets Final Fantasy meets Pokemon.
Holy shit, that sounds awesome.
I did the initial prototyping on this. My name is in the credits, which is crazy because it was published by Square Enix.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
And I really don't feel like I did. I literally prototyped this for a few months, and then we threw it over the wall or over the ocean, and then got it back in like a year. And This is the game that came out. It's Gyromancer, or Euromancer, as I like to call it. You collect euros, but it's not. It's Gyromancer. The key is LZK3P M2YMC FYV20. So, yeah. Let me know if you pick that one up. It kind of has a lot of, I would say, stupid text in it. Square definitely was like, let's make this a deep RPG with lots of, like, talking. Okay. Mm-hmm. But in the core, you play Bejeweled Twist and you collect monsters like Pokemon, then have them fight in Bejeweled Twist puzzle battles.
Man, I want to play this game.
It's a fun game. It's on pretty much everything. Yeah.
That's so cool. You're in the freaking credits of a
there was only like 3 PopCat people in the credits.
Damn, dude.
Because literally it was only like 3 of us that ever worked on this thing in the Seattle office. It was so weird, but I got my name in Square Enix credits, so whatever.
Yeah, there you go. That's on the resume. I'm going to check that out. I will not steal that code from anyone, but that's I'm going to check that out on Steam. So pick that up. Speaking of games, I also have a code here. It's for Yooka-Laylee, and this is on Steam. So go check out that Banjo-Kazooie knockoff. It's by the same team that made Banjo. So it was an homage. There we go.
Spiritual successor?
That's even better. Spiritual successor. Go play as it's like a lizard and a bat or something. LWHQLBH4TBB4YZ8. So check that out. Yooka-Laylee on Steam. Let us know if you got it. Let us know what you think at Prof Plays Games at SummerSpeak. And we're going to roll right into what the heck we have been playing.
I kind of talked about some of it. No Man's Sky a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've played a bit more of Octopath. Not as much. My game time this week has been pretty low. Work has been work has been pretty mentally tiring. So weirdly, one of the things I've been doing at night is going to up my nerd credentials even more.
Oh boy.
Painting miniatures again.
You're such a nerd.
Such a nerd. I just had some new miniatures. Actually, Weird Games Workshop is just hitting it out of the park again. I really would never have thought I would say that. I thought they were pretty much had sunken to a deep, dark place many years ago. But no, new management really changes a company sometimes. And totally revitalized, and there's a lot of excitement there. And when my mind's been like mentally fried from like some pretty intense coding days, kids go to bed, and then I put on some form of Netflix, YouTube, something, just some long video, and just paint and listen to stuff. It's very relaxing, and when I definitely need to be away from like intense mental focus. But beyond that, I did play some more Octopath. I'm in chapter 3 with all characters, and I've done chapter 3 for 2 of them. Yes. No, I had to do grinding. That's right. I had to do grinding. I need to get a little bit higher level, and I'm right before the boss of Alphen's chapter 3.
Okay.
It's still fun. Like, I like the characters, and I like the story. I like the combat a ton. I don't mind grinding in it. It's pretty entertaining. There's enough to choose from, and now that I'm like fully unlocked on all the job system stuff, and I'm just really trying to min-max my jobs in some ways, like getting certain skills for the right characters, and really going deep there. And it's Switch, it's portable, so I can play it wherever I feel like it. If I want to lay on the couch and play it, I can lay on the couch and play it. It's great.
Is it still story still okay?
Yeah, I would say the story's okay. I'm honestly curious where some of them go. Like, they've definitely... no, actually, I did chapter 3 of Ulbrich as well. Never mind. I finished Chapter 3 Olberich, and that definitely did not end where I expected it to.
Also, a surprise in a positive way? Like
in a very positive way.
Okay.
It kind of subverted one of the tropes that was like, oh, this is just going to be one of these things. Nope, took a twist, but like I said before, this game is all about like happiness and joy, so it's not a dark twist. And I'm like, I guess I should have known that this was coming and they wouldn't go the dark path on this. They didn't, and it was pretty like, oh, this is actually really cool and fits the character really well. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I have one more chapter with Ulbrich, and then then I'm in Alphen's Chapter 3. I say I'm done with the job system. I've just learned there's actually 4 more jobs to unlock, but you have to be higher level. So there's like 4 master jobs that you can get. I think you have to be like level 50 though to get them. You have to.
And what level
you have
to
beat a boss. I'm like
22, 23.
No, I'm like 30 something, 32.
Oh, okay.
With most of my characters are like right around 30, maybe a couple levels, give or take. My main character is like 37, but you can't swap that character out, so they just get super leveled.
Yeah, because you're swapping the rest out to level them up, and your main character just is like wreck and shop basically. Yeah,
kind of. Ophelia, so she's the priestess, is mine, and she does holy magic, and her magic attacks are kind of insane.
Nice.
But not everything is weak to holy magic, so
right.
Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. But she can keep everyone alive, so that helps.
Yeah.
Always choose a healer if you can. Keep your party alive.
Yes, always good. I was playing a bunch of Battle Chasers Night War, and one of the characters has a nice buff that kind of has some synergy with another character, so it just like spreads healing out throughout your whole party and has saved me many a time.
Seems good.
That game's good. Yeah. Anything else you've been playing?
No. Just it was Octopath and No Man's Sky this week.
Cool. So this week I put some more time into Hollow Knight, which is, I don't have the breadth of Metroidvanias that a lot of people do, including you. So I'm hoping you play it one day and kind of let me know what you think, but it is superior in every single way. It is maybe the best after Super Metroid, maybe. I don't know. I think Symphony of the Night is up there as well. But this week I was playing, if anyone's familiar with Hollow Knight, I was facing the Watcher Knights, which is a battle before getting one of the Dreamers. And you need 3 Dreamers to kind of go toward the end game, which is where I'm headed right now. And it was the most heart-pounding boss battle I've had in years and years. It basically, you walk in to this arena and one Watcher Knight wakes up, and then you start fighting him, and then another wakes up, and then another, and another, and another, and another. There are 6. And you're fighting them all at the same time. So you're kind of honing your strategy to basically be so efficient that you kill the first knight really quickly, and then start bouncing around the arena, trying to avoid the other attacks and trying to fight back against them. And it was so satisfying for me. It took me about half an hour and probably about 20 attempts. And it was so satisfying because learning their mechanics more and more. Like at the beginning, I was just getting destroyed, and I'd slowly make it a little further and make it to the next night and the next night and a little further, and then almost beat it and then die, and almost beat it and then die. And then finally, with like my last health bar, beat the last night and then beat the challenge and go up to find the Dreamer and unlock the next part of the game. And it was such a sublime, I don't know, like sequence of just getting slowly better and learning from your mistakes. And it's from a lot of people that I read online afterwards, it's like they're the hardest boss in the game, besides like some DLC boss or maybe the final boss. Maybe even harder than the final boss because there's so many of them. And it was just, by the time I was done, I was sweating, my heart was pounding. Like I was just like, I wanted to just jump up and shout. I was so excited. So that was cool. And then in preparing for that boss fight, I went back to the beginning area with a new ability to go get a new charm, which basically allows you to double your health, but takes away your ability to heal. Okay. So on the way to get this charm, I just randomly happened to hack at a wall, and it kind of gave a little bit. So I hit it a few more times and it opened up. Go inside. There's this, I think it was like a dead body of a bug or something like that, which lit a fire. And then I had to like stoke the fire, and then the screen kind of changed colors, and I was like, that's fucking weird, but there was nothing else to do there. It was just a fire burning. And I go back to town, and there's like a new tent with a new character, and it turned out that I had started the DLC for DLC path without realizing what I was doing. And it gives you a new charm that you put on, and you find like these little fire sprites throughout the land, and then you fight them, get their fire. And when you have all the fire, you apparently fight the boss from the DLC, which is the hardest boss in the game, apparently. So I just happened to stumble across it, and it's what this game is all about, where you just are exploring, like Breath of the Wild. It really feels like Breath of the Wild to me, where you're exploring and you just stumble onto something new, or you're at a place and you're like, what's over there? Or you get this new ability and you think, what if I go back here and do, like a Metroidvania kind of thing? It's just, there has not been a single second of that game that I have not just fucking loved. I don't know if anything's going to beat it for Game of the Year for me this year. I know it came out last year on PC, but it's a new release on Steam or on Switch.
Yeah.
And the other game that I played this week that I started yesterday and continued on today was God of War, which might be the other contender for Game of the Year based upon what I played so far. I know you got like 6 hours in the game.
Yeah.
I'm probably an hour. I beat the Stranger.
Yep.
And that boss fight, like both boss fights, the troll boss fight, I probably died like 7 or 8 times, just kind of learning the rhythm of combat in the game and being smarter about using Atreus to kind of distract the troll or whatever. Once I figured that out, it was a little easier. But the Stranger, I beat him in my first try, but the fight just escalated. There's like 3 stages, and you thought you beat him, and
it just keeps going and going and getting more brutal and more brutal. Yeah. It turns it up to 11. Like it just keeps going.
It absolutely does, and it turns up to 11 in the first hour of the game. And I'm just wondering, like, does it maintain this? Because
it ebbs and flows.
Okay,
like you definitely go back to more reserved at times, and these huge spikes. Like, and you start getting that's kind of the rhythm of the game. Like these downtime, these exploration areas that have some combat, smaller, some bigger stuff, but more exploration, solving puzzles, and then the boss fights are intense. These set piece events, and the set pieces are huge and insane, and epic and climactic, and
it was the same thing. Like that Hollow Knight fight, where it was just, by the time I was done, my heart was pounding, and it was just like, this is what I game for. Like these moments that seem to be few and far between lately, or in the past several years, but recently it's just been like every single game I play is just like best game I played all year, best game I played in the last couple of years. Like it's just some really great moments in God of War. And I got to tell you, on 4K TV, God of War.
Yeah, you have the Pro.
I have the Pro on a 4K TV. It is unreal. Like the scenery, the characters, they still look like they're computer generated.
Sure.
The fucking scenery looks like it's real. It really, really looks like it's real for the most part. Like the cabin where they're living, it looks like real wood. The wood, the trees around them.
Yeah.
It looks like a real setting, and then these computer generated characters are in it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how amazing it looks. So I feel like I'm hooked. Like it's when the TV's free and it's game time, I'm playing that. When the TV's not free and it's game time, I'm playing Hollow Knight. I'm alternating between those two right now. And then last night, I had a friend over and played a little bit of Everybody's Golf, played some Rocket League, played some Mario Kart, just some
nice,
couch co-op. So that was a lot of fun. And it was just, kind of reminds you of us back in high school, just playing these games and just, laughing, having fun. So that's my gaming this week. It's been pretty good.
Sounds like it. Can't end there without another code.
I like it. I like the idea of codes.
It's for Steam. It's kind of a throwback game. New, but throwback. It is 507EWY4V0K LLX6E. And so, yeah, let me know if you redeem it.
Yep, hit us up, Summer Speak and Prof Plays Games. That was episode 150, another milestone. Come back next week for episode 151. Until then, thank you for listening and keep gaming.
Later, everyone.
See you, folks.